All right, we are back. And for the second part of our show with Damon Fletcher, singer songwriter. Damon Fletcher, he should be joining us soon. Hopefully, you all enjoyed DeP, uh, Donald Page, dynamic singer songwriter. If you do not follow him, you should. He, as a recap for those who possibly might have missed um, some of his interview, he is a singer songwriter who has worked with Beyonce. He worked with her on um, the Spirit soundtrack, also the Lion King soundtrack. And he has worked with John Legend, just a plethora of artists. He was Jill Scott, Anthony Hamilton. So he's one of those people who's in the background. But next up, we have another dynamic singer songwriter. I am elated. We've worked together for the past year. He just has just the energy of the Energizer Bunny and just the work ethic of just a hoss. He's just a boss. He just his latest single, I Let It Go, will make you want to let it go, the stress, whatever you're feeling. And then also prior to that, his first single off his second EP, Welcome, had like over 15,000 views in the first week. And now the second single, I Let It Go, is banging out YouTube as well. By the way, he has over 1 million views on YouTube. During the pandemic, he connected with Neo, who pretty much put his stamp of approval on him. And it wasn't just the pandemic, like when his second, when now that he's dropping singles from the second EP, Neo actually sent him a video uh personally telling people to, hey, make sure you keep following Damon. So it wasn't just that time during the quarantine that Neo was checking for him. He's still checking for him. And he's received support from heavyweights such as Usher, LL Cool J, Jada Kiss, Summer Walker. The list goes on and on. So I am going to bring to the stage right now Mr. Damon Fletcher. Welcome to Rocky's Reality, Damon.
Hey, how are you doing? It's
How are you?
good
I'm
to
great.
see you. Thank you for
You as
having me.
well. Absolutely, absolutely. We've been threatening to do this for a while, and it's like, okay, finally, let's lock this in. Let's get it together. So, how are you feeling? How are things going?
Oh, I'm great. I mean, we here, we talking, so we
Right,
good.
absolutely, absolutely. I love it. So, give us a snapshot for those who are new to Damon Fletcher. Give us a snapshot of who you are and how you came to this point.
Yeah, well, my name is Damon Fletcher, and I actually started making music during the pandemic. And so my music is all about just having fun and just getting up to get and dance. And so I knew during the pandemic that was something we needed because it's a very trying time. But this was in my music was inspired by Usher. I was watching his masterclass as I was traveling for work prior to the pandemic, and I was watching it. It's like, man, I feel like I could do that. And it's like, nah, I can't do that. I'm too old. My life is already where it should be. Why do I feel like that? And as that happened, I was sitting at the airport in DC. LL Cool J sits right next to me. And I was like, oh my God, I never get starstruck in here. You, sir, I have to talk to you. Your portrait is hanging in the Smithsonian next to Michelle Obama. How does that make you feel? And he was like, oh, it's a really great feeling. I was like, I want to do something like that in life. He was like, oh, you will. I already see it. And so that happened in December 2019. I left that still even with doubt. And so now you fast forward 3 months later, we're in March 2020, pandemic happens, everything shuts down. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is my moment. I'm about to do everything that Usher said. LL already told me that I will. So I got up and started putting together all the pieces. And yeah, and it
Absolutely.
started to move. And then here we are.
And then was your first single, your first official single, "Hustle with a Purpose"?
Yes, hustle with the
That
purpose.
spread, that went viral.
Yeah,
And
that had almost 500,000 views on YouTube. Just that video alone, and that was my very first one. So what I've learned too that there was not a lot of production going on. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to produce right now.
I love it. And then moved on to Ready and 2 Miles with the Crush Boys, and then Cupid from Cupid Shuffle. You worked with him, and then you also got to meet Usher as well. Was this after his masterclass? You got to meet Usher, I think, twice.
Yeah, that was all after the masterclass. So honestly, what happened over there, once I did Hustle with a Purpose, and then I kept, my nieces told me, he was like, oh, you should do it again, because they were in my video. And so I was like, you know what, I did have fun, and we still are in the house. Let's do it again. And that's when I did 2 Miles. And so that's how that one came about. And then after we released that one, that's when I really started to get feedback from people, and they was like, this is amazing. And so that's when I just started reaching out to artists is on Instagram. And that's when Neo responded to me, and he was like, oh, what are you doing to promote your music? And I'm like, oh, I'm just using word of mouth and social media. I feel like I'm right there. I just need that next little push. And he was like, oh, well, do you want to do an Instagram live? I was like, oh, absolutely. And so we did an Instagram live that told him what was happening. And at the end of it, we listened to 2 Miles during that Instagram live. And that's when he was like, oh, that's dope right there. Right. And so after the Instagram live, he DM'd, he was like, that's amazing. Let's continue to build and let's work. Send me all your music. Sent me his email address. And so I did all of that and then didn't hear anything. So I was like, oh, maybe he forgot or he found somebody else. Who cares? Like, that was amazing. I just met Neo.
Right. That was still a moment of a lifetime.
Right.
So,
as I was going too, I had this whole plan, and I was trying to. I got to Cupid, and I started telling him too. I was like, "Oh, I want to get this whole thing to get to Usher. Can you help me out?" And he did, and that's when we made Ready, and that's when we shot that music video at the top of a helipad in downtown LA. And then and I had a bunch of dancers and things like that who's actually ended up in Beyonce's Renaissance tours, backup dancers. And so it was probably 2 weeks after that. That's when I got a DM from Zaytoven. And so
Grammy-winning producer, Usher,
right? Who? Yeah,
Migos.
Right. Yeah. He won a Grammy for producing Usher's Raymond versus Raymond album. And so he reached out to me and was like, spoke to Neo about you. He said you was putting in work. And I was like, oh, wow. So I had this whole contest to get to Usher. This is before they even showed up. And so I've been writing all these things down, and then they show up. So now I go to Vegas to meet Usher, and I get there, and he already knew who I was. He was starstruck when we met.
I love it. Usher was starstruck by you.
Right. I was like, that's crazy. All I had to do, I was like, man, I watched your masterclass. He was like, oh. I was like, oh, whoa. Yeah. And so I started to see he was paying attention because I was like, I already got to Zaytoven, but I looked him dead in his eye at that time. And it was like, because I clearly had to focus to go into a moment like that.
Right.
But I couldn't let that distract me. And I was like, man, I said it again, like, man, I watched your masterclass and I did everything that you said. Now I'm blowing up. I'm already working with Zaytoven and you're the missing piece. Let's write this next chapter and let's work.
Okay. And so what did he say?
And so his smile got bigger and bigger every time I was going. I was watching the whole thing. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm about to do this. And then I actually went over and I was like, yeah, I've already worked with Cupid and all these things. And I gave him the song for Ready. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to check you out and do all these things. I got you. And then I left him like we fist bumped each other.
Awesome. So hopefully you all reconnect sometime in the future and pick back up where you left off with that and make that song together. Because now fast forward. So you dropped your EP 24.
Yes. And so that's what we did with that was my project when I worked with Zaytoven. So we did that and then had a lot of success with that. And decided, oh, let's keep going and let's do another one.
The Great Experience. Now we're here at the Great Experience.
Right. This is called The Great Experience now. Yeah, I just started on that. And that's when we released the first track for that one is Welcome, which came out in March. And then I just released I Let It Go. So I did my very first headline show in Detroit at the Garden Theater. And we shot the music video during the rehearsal, sound check, the show, and the after party. And so all of that is in the video for I Let It Go. And then you'll hear my new EP, The Great Experience, in August.
I love it. Oh, it's just been a whirlwind. Do you sometimes sit back feel like you're in a time warp?
Nah, because I'm so focused, it's just going. It's just normal.
Right. Okay. You've been waiting for this moment. You've been waiting. Right. So I love this. So let's get into Welcome. I wish we had time to show everyone the different songs. We've talked about Hustle with a Purpose, Ready, 2 Miles. But we gotta fast forward 24. Let's play Welcome. I want to play the first single off of The Great Experience, which is dropping in August. Okay, so I'm and then we also are gonna get into I Let It Go later, but this is Welcome, the first single from this is the first single from The Great Experience.
It's an experience. It's an experience. Yeah. Welcome to my experience. Welcome to my experience. Welcome to my experience. Welcome to my life. Let's turn this party up. Turn this party upside down. Welcome to my life. It's an experience. It's an experience. Welcome to my experience. Get on your feet. MC hands on knees. Arms in the air, I believe. You don't know about God, look at me. Say you only get one dream. I feel like Nas, I be what I wanna be. It's my party, I'm having too much fun. I'm not ever leaving. Yeah. Welcome to my experience. Welcome to my experience. Welcome to my experience. Welcome to my life. Let's turn this party up. Turn this party upside down. Welcome to my life. It's an experience. My life. It's an experience. Welcome to my experience.
I love it. So who were the writers, producers for that?
So on that one, the writers is the Crush Boys, and we all wrote that together. It's the three of us that's writing, and the producer on that is this guy Geico Tracks.
Okay, I love it. So did you write it? Are you all wrote? You co-wrote?
No,
it?
we did this together. This is all original. This is me telling my story, talking to them, and they're helping me put it together. And they're like, it's not me. It's all my words, and they just help build the structure and the melodies.
I love it. I love it. Collaboration.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's all me. So when you sing in there, it's coming from the heart. These are all my words. Nobody's making them up but me.
Right. I love it. Authentic Authentic artistry. Authentic artistry. I love that. So, Damon, talk a little about your background. You're a Detroit native.
Yes.
Okay. So, where as growing up, did you have dreams of, oh, I want to be a singer when I grow up?
Yes. So, well, wasn't a singer. I wanted to be an actor. I actually wanted to be in Broadway. So, growing up, I did grow up in church choir. So I did do that. So I do know about singing. And I was in musical theater in high school. So I was in plays like Bye Bye Birdie and Godspell and Chicago and things like that. So I did have fun. And I remember one day when I was the lead in, I think that was Godspell or Pippin, one of the two. I remember sitting backstage and kind of like looking out into the crowd. And he's like, oh, I can't wait till the day when there's going to be a whole bunch of people, strangers in this building here to see me. Because I was like, I knew here, I was like, these are just people's parents and things like that. But I remember that like it was yesterday. It was like, oh, wow, that really is still there. Because you think, oh, because I left after that, I went to and end up in medicine and ophthalmology and did research and oversight of clinical trials to get new drugs to the market. And then who knew that stranger was actually still there?
I love that. And speaking of eye care, you were born with an eye condition.
Yeah, so I was born with congenital glaucoma. And so I had glaucoma at birth, and they end up finding it later on. And so how they was discovered, because my mom noticed that every time she would turn on the light, I would start crying. And then she'd turn it off and that would be good. She's like, something ain't right.
Right. Mama knows.
Right. So she talked to her grandmother, my great grandmother, and told her about it. She's like, oh, you need to go see my ophthalmologist, Dr. Sugar, at Henry Ford in Detroit. And so she did that, and we ended up doing a surgery and that's when they knew that it's like, oh, you have glaucoma, and they did a surgery called a trap in the blade, and it saved my vision.
It was called what?
A trap and a blade. It's two different.
Oh, wow.
It's ophthalmology term. Yeah. So and so they fixed that and they saved my vision, and so I ended up in ophthalmology working at Henry Ford. And that's when I started to learn, when you're around all these ophthalmologists, things all the time. So it was like, that is wild that actually worked. And at that time on an infant, like that's insane.
Right.
And it's still working.
So it's like full circle for you to come and work in ophthalmology.
Right. Yeah. And so I did. I was like, I think that, Joe, you just did a procedure like that. And it was like, oh, yeah, they tell you how special that even was. So, yeah. So that's why I work in research, so I can give insight to other people.
Awesome. I love that. So speaking of vision, I love the vision you have for I Let It Go. We're going to get into that since we're kind of running short on time. People get 2 videos. Y'all get to see Welcome, and you're going to get to see I Let It Go. So we're going to go into the second single that's currently out now. Currently has like over 30,000 views just in the 2 weeks it's been out. So I love it.
It's
all right.
rocking.
So we're going to get into that as well. All right, we're going to get into I'll Let It Go.
I let it go. Now I'll do what I want. Yeah, I let it go. Now nobody can tell me no. I've been on a mission to love myself. I'm loving myself better than I ever did. I've been on a mission to love myself. I don't need nothing else. Keep on the negative. I'm having the time of my life. Timing always right. Living life to the fullest, I had to make it mine. Having the time of my life, sharing this light I keep finding. I was lost and then I let it go. I let it fall. Oh, I let it go. Had to let go of it all. I've been living my best. Yes, I've been living my best. Yes, I'm having the time of my life, sharing this light I keep finding. When I was lost, I let it go. When you feel that need to go, then go. When you hear it loud, you better listen. Yeah, I thank God for what I'm feeling. I've been on a mission for loving myself. I'm loving myself better than I ever did. I've been on a mission for loving myself. I don't need nothing else. Keep on the negative. I'm having the time of my life. Timing always right. Living life to the fullest, I had to make it mine. Having the time of my life, sharing this light I keep finding. I was lost and then I let it go. I let it fall. Oh, I let it go. Had to let go of it all. I've been living my best. Yes, I've been living my best. Yes, I'm having the time of my life, sharing this light I keep finding. When I was lost, I let it go. Go. I let it go. I'm having the time of my life. I let it go. I let it fall. Oh, I let it go. Had to let go of it all. I've been living my best. Yes, I've been living my best. Yes, I'm having the time of my life, sharing this light I keep finding. When I was lost, I let it go.
I love it. You look like you were having the time of your life. for sure.
I was. That's why I ended up in that song. You
I
know,
love it.
when it came to the words, because we had the production of it first. Like all the production for all these tracks is done. That's where I began. And on this one, I actually got this one last summer, right after we did 24. And it was speaking to me, and it was like, oh, this is my best life. This is telling me it's living my best life. And we started there.
Right.
And it was like, oh, and that's
Right.
where you had that. And then it turned into all the rest. I've been living my best. Let it go.
Right. It has that great pop EDM feel to it, that just like
Right.
euphoria.
Right.
Absolutely. So, unfortunately, we've got to wrap up, Damon, but I really enjoyed. Tell people where they can follow you.
Hey, you can
Your 5 favorites.
yeah, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram at the Damon Fletcher, and then I'm on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to music. Just you can Google me, Damon Fletcher.
And the EP will be out in August.
And the EP will be about
Great Experience, second EP.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes, this is bangers. And we got more. You haven't heard anything yet.
I cannot wait. Looking forward to it. So let's end with your 5 favorites. Okay, favorite food.
I really don't have a favorite food. I eat everything.
Okay.
And it's just whatever I feel on that day.
Okay. Favorite travel destination.
Ooh. That also, as long as it's a beach and it's like with beautiful water and it's a beach party. That's my favorite travel destination.
I love it. Favorite artist.
Usher.
Okay.
That's how we got here.
Listen. Favorite movie or TV show.
Favorite movie, Sister Act 2, Back in the Hat.
I love it. All right. And last one, your favorite accessory.
My suitcase. I'm about to go somewhere.
Right. I love it. Okay. Well, I enjoyed you, Damon, and I appreciate it. And you're a friend of the show. Hopefully the next single comes out. When the next single comes out or when the Great Experience drops, let us know. Please come back and keep us in mind. Definitely.
Hey, for sure. Thank you again.
I look forward to it. All right. And make sure you all check out Damon Fletcher, the Great Experience, coming soon. All right.
Have a good one. Bye.
Have a good night. You too. Bye-bye. Thanks.